So you can pull that thing out.
Oh, how are you doing, Miss Erin Fulk?
That's why that's why you were so on top of it today, just so you can show off your trumpet.
Well, for the last 2 episodes, I've just been normal, and it's freaked you out. And I feel like for the audience, they need to like see a starting point to get fired up. I mean, I don't do this all the time like you do.
We can barely see it with that lighting of yours today.
Yeah, that's my job is I make it look so bad and I'm not good at this. Then the guests we're all here to see and tune into, they're like, you know what? If that guy can do it, I can do it.
Will you tell everybody what we're doing next week? What are you making me do next week?
Are we going to a bar?
No, we're golfing.
Oh my God! Well, of course, yeah. I didn't know if you wanted that to be public knowledge. Erin's gonna go with a bunch of people that are super, super successful, and then she gets to ride. Not me, but then she gets to ride in a golf cart. Well, maybe ride with the other people in the golf cart. I don't know, but yeah,
we're friends. We're all friends.
I don't know if you're gonna ride with me.
I haven't golfed in like years.
We're going to be playing 9 holes. The first one's a doozy, but the second 2 you'll do great, and you get to golf and see Taylor Swift's house.
That's why.
So yeah, it's the hole number 6.
I just can't wait to make all the TikTok content I'm going to make.
Yeah, it's hole number 6, but with the weather and the leaves falling, you get a better view. Obviously, we want to give everyone their privacy, but it's about 20 yards away.
I'm gonna be like Taylor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sing that the "If I Was a Man" song while I'm golfing next to our house. So it's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be a great time. We just need Bestway International to get us there and Evardy Construction to build it. That's how we do it.
That's how I do it. We have some awesome guests today, but before we bring on our guests, let us know, are you watching from Facebook? Are you watching from LinkedIn? Are you watching from YouTube? Are you watching the live? Are you watching the replay? I want everybody over here to say hi. It has been, can you believe that it is almost the end of October?
It's crazy, and we have to gear up for Drinks with Leaders next year. Good thing is I had someone give me this prop, and I had someone professionally write my transitions for this show with Evardy Construction and Bestway International. I think I did good.
Oh, yeah. You did something.
All right. Your new hair color, though, but, we'll live and we learn.
I'm a brunette now. Okay, brunette. So thanks for noticing, because Jessica noticed.
I noticed at the charity event.
I'm just kidding. Okay, let's bring in our guests. We're weird. We're getting weirder by the week. We're like those old people.
We're in bed by 9:30.
All right, ladies first. Today we have Jessica and DJ. Look, we've got Desiree watching on LinkedIn and Caitlin watching from LinkedIn. Thank you guys for coming on. We're so excited. All right, guys, let's just get started. I'm sorry about the music. It's Scott's favorite part of the show. Who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
I'll go first.
Yeah, you're first.
My name is Jessica Powell. I am the program director for New to KC, a new initiative based off of our sister program, Back to KC. And I was born and raised in Kansas City. Like a lot of my friends, I left after college, but quickly realized that this was home and this is where I wanted to raise my kids. So I boomeranged back and was lucky enough to find my people again and build an awesome work and life here in Kansas City. So I'm a big advocate for Kansas City.
So you know a lot of people, and I'm going to steal your words before other people steal it. You may not be the expert, but you're the person that knows the expert. How did you become such a servant leader in introducing people?
It's my number one advice. Like, I just spoke at KU's business school last week, and Austin Barnes at Startland News was the moderator. And he asked me, Jessica, how are you so good at networking? Like, what makes a good networker? And it was really easy for me to answer that question. And the fact that, like, it's nothing about you when you go to networking events, it's all about the other people. So, don't always have your elevator pitch ready and know who you are and how you can show up. But even more important, to ask people what they're doing, how you can help, and then actually go help and connect with people. And when you show up in that way, when you connect people and provide outlets and resources and anything that they need, they'll remember you. And all of a sudden they're boomeranging and they're helping you when it's time for you to have that connection as well.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your new initiative and what all it does?
Yeah. So new to KC, new and then the number 2 KC.com. It was born out of a need. I didn't really wake up one morning thinking to myself, let's go start another program, because that's been one of my downfalls on Kansas City, is that there's lots of silos and I don't want to just create another silo. So with New to KC, it was all about pointing people to the resources that are already in place for them. So excited about it.
Okay, so Caitlin says, been a beneficiary of Jessica's ways many times. Thanks for all you do, Jessica.
Yeah.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Where do people learn more right now about your new program?
There's an event tomorrow night at Keystone Innovation District. We're talking to 4 really amazing people that now call Kansas City home. So if you want to come down to Keystone Innovation District, you should know about it. Go Google it. You should try to get there if you're an entrepreneur or you're in the space. Tomorrow night at 6, and we're going to be talking about how they have adjusted or maybe aren't adjusting, and how their experience has been being new to KC.
Awesome. All right, BJ, who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
All right. So who I am is I'm BJ Fox, and I'm the founder of the Mental Masters Athlete Company. It's a young company that has been, it's about not quite a year old, but we just took off, and we're building, and we're doing a lot of building of that process, both from a social media standpoint, website, which have a great company I'm working with called Lillian James is building this site, which is amazing. And it's good when first time somebody looks at it, they go, wow. So that's awesome. And so what I do is I basically have a process. It's a system, not a secret. And this system is to come together and how to bring both the mental skills to an athlete, both for baseball and softball. Eventually it'll be in other sports, but for baseball and softball, the mental skills, leadership skills, and then you have life skills, which get them to be better after the sport is done and just become a better human being. And the foundation of that, thank you very much. And the foundation for that is based off of a process called ULA, where it takes your 7 F's of your life, your family, faith, fitness, finances, friends, and fun. And when you get those in order, those is when life really rolls like a nice smooth wheel. When one of those doesn't roll in a really well, one of those areas are struggling, you start to have a little bit of a flat tire. So I take that and transfer that into the baseball, softball community, and we have our wheels that we grade, and it tells you where you're at from a mental standpoint, hitting, fielding, throwing, and then body care. And it helps you identify not only where you've been, where you're at today, like a Google blue dot on a map, so you know where you are as an athlete, and then as well as where you're going in the future. And so, like I said, this is just literally, we've gotten the last time I've connected with a few people, we had one D1 school that we went and helped out earlier this year in January, and they ended up breaking 13 records and making the conference tournament when they weren't even supposed to make the tournament. And that went really well, and end up word of mouth, end up going to another D1 program, which is in Texas A&M Commerce, and working with their staff, which they have an Olympian on their staff, Crystal Bustos, and then awesome coaches with Brittany Miller, which played at Iowa and other, coached other schools. And then my buddy of mine that's coached in a lot of places with Josh Reeves, which was at UNW where we got those records. We basically are turning that program into a mental masters. And then as well as we got a D2 program up in Nebraska that just went down and beat a D1 school in their first weekend. So the mental part is coming together, making them stronger athletes, mentally tough, and believing in themselves. And believe it or not, you end up finding out more about yourself than just the athletic side to how to become better, which transforms you into a better athlete. How did I get here? I went to Iowa and I ended up growing up playing baseball throughout the Midwest. Got to be a professional for a couple seasons, which ended up helping me build this company over 25 years. And now I'm basically putting that all together to provide it to everybody and give service.
You know who needs you is the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be watching today.
Yeah.
Look at that sports analogy. Take that, Joel Goldberg. This is a sports show.
Yeah.
Sports show. All right, really quick, before your turn, Paul said, watching for my car.
Paul.
Back to my desk. Well, thank you, Paul, for watching.
That's dedication.
Yeah, it was happy birthday. Good.
I just said Paul's dedicated.
You dedicated, and it was recently his birthday, so happy birthday. Jessica, what was the most pivotal point in your career?
I was a founder of a company in Chicago, and I knew that it was time for me to go. I had brought everything that I could possibly bring to the company. We had grown it. It was an awesome company called Fund Conference, where we would help founders that were investor ready meet with our investors and facilitate deal flow. And I had speakers at the same time and sponsors. It was totally my vibe. I loved it. It was like my baby, my startup. But then I realized that, we needed people smarter than us to take it to the next level. And when, they were coming in, things just got shifted, as they always do whenever it's founders and small businesses. And I wasn't going to make any more money. And I was like, well, I deserve more money. So at that time I was still living in Kansas City, and Darcy Howe, she totally brought me in. She was like, why are you helping Chicago's ecosystem? You live in Kansas City. Your kids are here. You should be helping Kansas City's ecosystem. And so I didn't even know there really was a startup community in Kansas City at this time. It was like 2014, 2015-ish. I didn't even know. I mean, I knew that Adam Arredondo and Matthew Marcus were doing the startup village thing, but it just didn't really feel all that come on and hang out like Keystone Innovation does now. And I also feel like Kansas City is really kind of hard to break into sometimes, like the whole gatekeeper mentality. And that's why I probably go overboard when it comes to connecting with people. But Darcy was my gatekeeper. She opened up so many doors for me and advocated for me to help me find my spot and where I could best serve the community. So my pivotal moment was like trusting that Darcy would help me, and like putting in a lot of faith in what I knew that I needed to do for me in my career, which doesn't always look the same as when you start on day one. So like business plans is just that. It's just a plan. And you have to be okay with adapting and listening to your gut and listening for the echo. And I really listen for the echo a lot. And, and that's how New to KC came back around. When we were doing Back to KC this year, most of the people in the room were people that had moved back. They just can't find their people. And so I was listening. They're like, I can't find my people. Where are the people that work on the weekends? And so that's how New to KC was formed, was simply trusting my gut and listening for the echo. And that's my story.
Listening to the echo and being the expert that knows the experts. A lot of great nuggets here today. Yeah. So BJ, what about yourself? You've had a lot of action in your 25-year career. What was the most pivotal point?
Yeah. Well, first of all, yes, a lot of nuggets there. I've been writing them down as you've been spitting them out. And first, before I carry on, my Wayne State College, I want to call them out because that was the part of the story that went down to beat Creighton, the D2 beating the D1. Got to give Coach Christie her props. So when we watch this, she knows that I give him some love. So what my pivotal moment was is there was a few things to tie it together, getting released from baseball when I was younger and basically getting your dream just crushed. And then going into 4 different business avenues, such as IT world, then to project managing world in the hospital communications, then going into financial world, becoming a leader in the financial world. And basically each one of them just chasing something, and everybody was saying, this is what I need. And in all of those, I was going up in success, and then you get kind of demoted or find something else. There's a lot of up and downs. And finally, when my father passed away about 5 years ago, I was just crushed. And I was like, what am I doing with this life? It really gives you a check. And the ULA guys came into town. These are 2 guys that come in a little VW bus around the world collecting dreams. Always wanted to meet these guys. They were top 5 of my list of people to meet. And when you meet them, you just feel like you're the most important person in the room, even though there's everybody to see them. And I was like, man, I want some of that. And I got home, I just felt just really peaceful and like, I want to give back. And so that pivotal moment said, let's go back to my why. My why was baseball, softball, giving back to that community, the mental game, which got me to my successful level. So I said, what can I do? And that's what kind of started the idea of like, well, what do I do to give back? So I started giving back to one kid that was, as a freshman, 8th grader, and he was having a summer league, and I was just working with him. He ended up going from like 250 to hitting like 700. And it was like, man, this is kind of working. And then we started working some other kids and connected with the place here. And next thing you know, everybody I work with starts to say, you should do this. You're really good at this connecting, or you're really good at making it come together, from little kids all the way up to college and professional level. So that's what kind of made it was my why was saying, what am I doing with my life? I want to give back and start to give what I wish people would have gave me. And that's what started this whole process. That's my pivotal point.
What is the number one thing your clients reach out to you for?
Oh man, it depends on the age level. 7 to 10-year-olds, it's hey, I just want them to learn how to, the game. But then as soon as they come into the door, I say, shake my hand. And if the kid shakes my hand like little wet fish, you're like, no, you got to get in there firm and let them know that you're confident. So you start building that life skills. And even though it's a practice for baseball, you're like, hey, we got to learn those life skills. Higher level, you start to teach, hey, how do you handle your attitude or your concentration or your mindset or your dedication? Do you really think you're doing well? Well, look at your routine in the day. If your routine has a bunch of gaps because you're playing video games half the night, maybe your dream is coming a little closer if you would actually start focusing a little bit on that in between the game playing. So yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Can you come over here sometimes and just give me motivational speeches? Thank you.
Well,
all right. What?
Absolutely, he will.
I know. He's really good at it. They're both so motivational. Okay. Here is the thing. We are literally almost at the end of October of 2024. Can anybody else believe that? So we've got a couple months left here. How are you doing on your 2024 goals, Jessica? And how can the Kansas City community help you going into 2025?
I feel like I'm doing great on my goals. I've been moving and shaking. This year I was really dedicated to joy, to embodying joy wherever I am and whatever I do. And it was uncomfortable in the beginning, but now it has become a way of life. And so much so that some people that weren't used to it are kind of like, hey, you're weird, and that's okay. When you change, some people adapt with you and some people don't. And if you aren't growing, if you aren't uncomfortable, then you're not growing. So I feel good about my goals. I feel also really scared. Starting new 2KC wasn't on my agenda for the year. But it's happening and the universe is rewarding me in weird ways. I had Coinbase reach out wanting to sponsor, and LaSalle Network that's based out of Chicago. They're a big technology staffing agency. It's just interesting, who reaches out when news comes about. But I'm excited for this year. I'm even more excited to do my planning for next year, though. Is that weird? Is that how you guys are? Like, I just want to get started for next year now.
A lot of people, there's a lot of debate on why New Year's is January 1st, and a lot of people want to start doing it in October. When you think about a goal that you're really going to reach for, what's that goal you really want to reach for in 2025?
I would like to have more of like a conglomerate of people. So my goal is to have New 2KC be a working entity that isn't dependent upon Jessica. So like I have the SaaS platform that I'm going to introduce so that people can connect to who they need to connect to, and it's not me sending out emails. So that is a huge goal for me, is to be able to connect while I'm sleeping with the SaaS platform that we're going to implement.
So are you currently working on the SaaS platform?
Yes. It's called KeyNet. And they used it at the Digital Health KC event that they had about a month ago with 500 people. And it's owned and operated by Keystone. And there's an awesome guy, Brad Nelson, who is working out of Keystone, who owns the SaaS platform, and he's going to white label it for us and going to create the questions that I need in order to, build your avatar. I identify as an investor, and this is how I can help, and this is who I want to meet. And then the platform will just do it.
Oh, that's awesome.
We'll see. I've worked in tech. I'll believe it when I see it. But it's a really exciting goal.
That is exciting. Listen, rolling out any technology, I feel like is a win at this point. So, all right, BJ, how are you doing on your 2024 goals, and how can the Kansas City community help you for 2025?
All right. Well, first of all, Jessica, I swear you've been to Ulapalooza, because you pick out a word every year to go. You said joy. Mine was humility this year, which is very humbling, because you have to take everything that you're like, oh, I know that. And then you have to stop and say, all right, let me see what I can learn from that person. So that is amazing. Again, another tidbit, wrote it down. But yeah, so mine, 2024 goals. Oh my Lordy, am I crushing them? So usually at Ulapalooza, you say pick 3 things that you accomplished this year, and then 3 things that you didn't. Well, it used to be 3. I used to only get 1. And then the more I did the process, the more I have like 25 to 30. So I'm crushing 2024. And my one big goal that is very exciting is there's this website that's coming out. And I mean, this brand, this company is Lily and James that did it. I swear to God, I keep looking at it every night, just the beta, just because I get so excited. But that is coming out, and how to help me is when that comes out, start looking into it, spread the word, and it's just a piece of one phase, which is coming down the road, where there's going to be more pieces that are going to grow, and things for athletes to track themselves and say, hey, here's what kind of mental discipline I have. I'm a mental master level 1 out of 7. I'll be a mental master 4 or 5. Now the college recruits are going to say, hey, we have mental master, athletes on our team now. We know their discipline, and they're going to get the job done, instead of somebody that's going to be a problem or a difficult athlete. You know what you're getting because of what mental master level they are. So it's exciting what's coming. What we could help is just spread the word and continue just, bringing the positivity to these young athletes and making them better people.
What are the curveballs your businesses are going to face in 2025?
Oh, curveballs. The curveballs the business is going to face is my biggest curveball is going to be is right now it's a myself and then my buddy that works with me on that started this whole process, that gave me the book that got me on the path to this. His name is Josh, and our surprises are going to be is, oh, we're starting this. All right, we can answer these questions. But what happens if 1,000 schools write tomorrow and say, oh my Lord, we need this? Or not only just the schools, how many people need ULA that need in their life? I mean, life, there's so much things that people struggle with in life that there's answers to it. Because like I said, it's a system, not a secret. And if you learn the system, man, your life gets in balance and it really becomes good. So there's people that want to reach out for that, which we have a tie to that in the website to get you there. So the challenge is going to be is how do we can keep on top of it, so you deliver what I want to make sure you have from a service level. I want to make sure you're served right, not, oh, here it is kind of a deal. Make sure you're taken care of.
Controlled growth.
Yes.
And I literally, while you were talking about that, I was like, I really want to introduce you to this Chris Cheatham. And like, there's so many names in my mind that I want to see like how they could give you their people and like partner together. And then you were like, but I want to control our growth. And I was like, okay, I'll ask him.
I do and I don't. I want to control the growth, but I also want to say, hey, like this, I don't know if I want to spread it as fast as possible to the world, because I wish I would have had this as a kid, because I would have absorbed it instead of getting told I wasn't good enough. And then always getting told, well, you're too fat or you're too small or this. And next, you start beating them, and then you're like, give them your baseball card. And you're like, hey, how do you want me to sign that? Because you told me I couldn't make it.
So speaking of baseball cards, Jessica's brilliant. Chris Cheatham has a really cool company that deals with that. And he's just southwest of you. He grew up going to Blue Valley Northwest, not too far from where you and Aaron are. So I think that'd be a great connection.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to connect with you for sure. Yes.
And there's a lot more. I mean, there's so many people that are like not, and that's what I love about your business model is because I haven't heard about it yet. And I feel like nowadays, like, oh yeah, you and 20 other people are doing it.
Yeah.
But that's great what you're doing.
Excited.
Jessica is Jessica-ing.
Sorry.
I love
That's cool. That's awesome.
Awesome. Okay, well, you guys are connected through email from earlier.
Nice.
We want to thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you so much to Bestway International and Evardy Construction for coming on or for sponsoring us. Scott, thank you so much for co-hosting. You can connect with Jessica has an event tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. BJ is about to have a website. You can connect with them right here on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. Bye, guys.
Yes.
Bye.